this is the weather I absolutely love. Even if there's not enough sun right now, I still love this type of weather. This type of weather is for me. I wish this summer is always or consistently like this. But it's not, because, you know, the sun, the more the sun shines, the hotter it gets. So even with climate change being a factor, that's just something that we have to just accept in reality. It is what it is. But I would love to live a reality where this is consistently my type of weather. And I hope to find it eventually. Like, I don't really mind having full on, straight up, cold weather, hot weather. Not consistently. Not for a long stretch of period of time. Like, I don't mind winter weather. I just don't want it for a long stretch of time. I don't mind summer. I don't want the weather to extrapolate for a long sense of time. I love fall, spring weather for this particular reason. There's a balance. There's a perfect balance between cold, hot. There's a perfect balance between chilly, cool, a little bit warm, but it has a hazy feeling to it too in certain areas. So it's not always super insufferable. There's a lot of breeze coming in, but there's not enough breeze to the point where you're freezing cold out. You can just enjoy the weather still in shorts like I am right now. You guys gotta get some nature, bros. Life is so good in that particular sense that you can always adjust accordingly. And part of the adjusting accordingly is you being able to go outside to touch some grass. Love that. And even if I'm going to move in with my dad pretty soon, I still can go to the park. The park is across the street. I don't have to walk more blocks just to get to the park here. I can walk a few blocks and then I can just continue walking because the park is huge. And there's so much nature, there's so much land, there's a running area. It's beautiful. I love that part. So I'm gonna appreciate and embrace that park a little bit more the more I start going over there and just adjusting my life to New Jersey a little bit. Like, the New York will still be in me because New Jersey is not completely different. It's just, there's just not that much to do in New Jersey. So when I get a job and I settle with it and I'm getting paid a good amount, I am still going to take some trips to New York on a regular. It's not like I'm going to stop going to New York for good. I'm still going to go to New York. New York is forever my home. It is my first home and it is going to forever be my home. New Jersey is my second home. And New Jersey has some very, very low-key spots that are so damn good. So New Jersey still has its love for me. And if I were to move out of both of these states, I want to move to a place that has consistent weather like this, fall, summer. It has a chunk of nature, a good nature, which seems very impossible, right? It seems impossible on the surface. I can find something though. I can find an area where it doesn't overextend or overbear. It doesn't overstay its welcome with weather like extremely cold weather or extremely hot weather. Like, similar to New York to an extent, but of course New York has its taste of 95 or over 95 degrees Fahrenheit weather, and New York can sometimes have a taste of below 20 degrees weather. Yo, cold in the winter time in the morning is a bottom tier experience. And sleeping in hot weather at night when it's hot, extremely insufferable. Bottom tier human experiences. But you know, this is perfectly going to transition to what I really want to talk about today. And I want to talk about people's obsession with this buster, Performative. It doesn't even just have the conjuncture of losing its value. People also use Performative as a way to sugarcoat and to oversaturate just the true essence of what reality actually is and what it should encompass. But a lot of people don't want to address. They just want to cope somehow, some way. So they just use certain tranquilizing internet TikTok terms so that they can just seem like they're above the social hierarchy. But that's never the case. What's the case? It exposes their lack of character. It exposes their lack of valuing being a better person and evolving according to the times, according to their game plan. And they don't like adjusting for other people. They want people to really cater to them. Really, really cater to them to the point where if they don't get their dream person, they don't get their intimacy like they exactly envision, they're done for. They're cooked. They might be socially cooked, and they already are. They're socially inept. It is what it is. So let's transition. There was this tweet on hashtag his platform, that trillionaire's own platform that he constantly breaks in. He just corrupts the fundamental functions of the app. Gift bar, the search engine, breaks that every now and then. Even when you tweet certain things, he still breaks the whole echelon of these tweets. It's weird. So there is this tweet on that trillionaire's platform. It was talking about how socializing is like a performance. You have to be performative. And it's like they don't give a shit. That's what it was framed or typed out. But it's not going to be typed out the way I reinterpret it or recall it perfectly. It's something like that. The tweet is like, socializing with people is like incentivizing a performance. And I just simply don't give a shit. You have a point, but you absolutely do not have a point either. You simply miss the mark and you miss the whole purpose. Listen, and that's the fundamental problem of society. They don't want to increment any type of fundamental aspects of humanity and humans in general. They just want to over-extrapolate, over-exaggerate just the whole point of social interactions. Now people want to be so quirky with it. It's weird. If you don't know what I'm really talking about, let me just break this down. So, the reason why I somewhat agree or understand why they tweeted that is because in cases like when you first meet the person or you first getting to know them, you have to somewhat self-sacrifice your personality for a little bit. And you don't have to sacrifice everything. That's not the point. The point is you're getting used to the other person's vibe because they're different from you. You have a difference of thought, even if you have similar interests, even if you guys like similar foods or you have similar music tastes. You guys are still different people with different mindsets and different backgrounds and different issues and just different strengths. And you have to adjust accordingly. You gotta get used to the vibe. It's gonna be very uncomfortable. It's gonna be very strange. It's going to be awkward. And sometimes the uncomfortability gets to you. However, the point is not the uncomfortability or the awkwardness over encompasses or over extends just past human interaction or past just the nature of just being. How we respond and react to certain things, it means more. So how we interpret these interactions or how we interpret the sentimental vibe is really going to entail how better of a person you're really becoming. It really even tests how better of a person you are in general in terms of just good person, or just, man, this person is so friendly. This person is so endearing. This person has a certain charm. You don't have to self-sacrifice your entire personality. You just don't get that deep. You don't get that deep. You get on the surface. But most people don't really want to get on the surface anymore because for some odd reason, they are podcast brainwashed. They are TikTok brainwashed. But they're also the same people that listen to certain podcasts, even with that fried goldfish attention span. They want to talk about conspiracies. But they don't want to get that deep. Some of the conspiracies are wrong, but they want to listen to certain conspiracies that definitely sound outrageous. But then, wow. Just getting even through it is just mind-boggling. It's impressive how some of these internet people are able to willingly get through the day and just become some of the most Debbie Downers, low vibrational people on the planet. It's pretty impressive. I applaud them for that. You don't have to be super intense. You don't have to be overly exaggerated and over dramatic for you to be an interesting person, to be an interesting storyteller. You just simply have to tell your story. Your story doesn't always have to be such crazy stories like, once I jumped off the Eiffel Tower. It doesn't always have to be like that. If you are able to have a casual conversation with somebody, that's just what it is. And now, in my case, it's become an art form to have a casual conversation. Dude, it's an art form. It's freaking crazy. Something that's pretty regular, I would think it's regular. Now, it has to be adjusted accordingly, and now it's, oh, this is an art form. I'm not talking just in of itself, the art form. I'm talking just how people interpret and how they incentivize just putting themselves in a position to be better. But they don't want to go through a casual conversation. They don't want to go through the surface level. And this is what I ultimately recognize in certain cases, like, leaving that space or not having as many friends like I used to back in high school. I've learned over time that you need to just be able to get used to having a little bit more casual conversations than you would like. And it's unfortunate, but also too bad. This is just reality. People like when you are able to adjust to casual conversations of, hey, what's the weather looking like? Oh, hey, what you eating for lunch? Oh, I like that lunch. That lunch is pretty good. I had a bagel with cream cheese for lunch. Something simple, nothing too crazy, but I wasn't really that hungry. I don't have that much money. I gotta be able to save for a new car, for example. You gotta be able to have those type of conversations, and you gotta be able to tolerate it too. Of course, there's gonna be a certain time where if this person really doesn't wanna go extend past the surface, then I can understand that. But generalizing and making it seem like you have to constantly perform for another person is just lackadaisical behavior coming from you, and half-assed, half-baked effort. You really want a McDonald's type of relationship with people. You want that fast food type. You want that sugar rush life. You don't want the healthy type, where things sometimes take time for you to adjust accordingly. You might even sometimes have to struggle getting to know them or getting used to their vibe. So not every relationship requires you to constantly leave the other person because it just feels weird. Sometimes it takes a multitude of conversations. You don't know these people in full for a whole few years. Hell, you might not even know them for the rest of your life. I don't think the main purpose is to get to know them more and more in terms of just everything. You get to know them more, but you're perfectly okay with not knowing certain things. So get this. People are just simply obsessed with having a particular set of problems, but they're so sat back on it that they don't really want to make any type of adjustments that will help them in the long run to become better people, become better speakers, become better socializers, becoming more adaptable, become more easygoing. People want to be intense all the time. Like, come on, you can relax. Like, people just don't want to relax. I was that person for some time, a little bit, even recent times I'm still working through it. However, this is the point. You are being tested on how better of a person you truly are through these moments. Like, did you truly become a better person? Did you truly adapt to them? And how you ask yourself this? How are you able to overcome some of the mental lapses you had today? How are you able to, if you had an intrusive issue or an intrusive thought about, let's say, you wanted to tell this person you don't care. How did you overcome it? Did you take your time to speak before speaking? Did you fight that fight, or just completely didn't care about that thought and just let it slip by? But most people want to think everything a damn performance. They're so freaking gullible and paranoid all the time. That space is so paranoid, man. That's one of the main things I took away, especially after leaving. And it's been a month since I left, but just integrating myself back into my own self and learning my own sense of faith and just taking my time with it, I'm learning that a lot of these people in this space, they're very paranoid. They're constantly moving in fear, and they're constantly just panicking, but they don't directly address that panic. They are doing it in subtle ways, and they just do it so tactically sound and calculated that it doesn't even sound or seem like it's paranoia or living in fearmonger. They do it so subtle, and that's the thing. These people are so calculated in their gaslight and their manipulative tactics. I almost fucking slipped. That you can't even tell that they're actually manipulating you. And that's one of the main endorsements of gaslighting and manipulation. It's so that you second guess yourself on whether they're gaslighting you or not. If you have to question if they're gaslighting you or not, chances are they're gaslighting you. They put you exactly where they want you to be. And that's the purpose. The purpose is, don't think for yourself. The purpose is, be in fear, just like me. Don't be in stoicism when it comes to certain things of not knowing everything. Again, that space is obsessed with wanting to know everything and having a black and white way of thinking. But I used to have that type of thinking too. Guess what? I don't, for the most part. I'm still adjusting accordingly sometimes. I can still see it within my own reflection that I want to say something so black and white and so doomsday narrative and so overly positive that I don't see or hear you. I don't see or hear your pain or hear what you have to say. I am tunnel vision. I'm black. That's what these people are. That's what the higher ups want you to be. They want you to be so blindsided, or just blind in general, by just a general retrospection of just your own salvation, that they want you to participate in certain increments of life that you know damn well is going to deter and lower your energy. They want you to be a part of podcast clip spaces. They want you to be a part of conspiracy TikTok spaces that require no level of critical thinking. It requires no sense of research or urgency to be a more clear, level-headed analyzer or observer. They just want you to instantly get the information and just want you to agree with them blindly. Not even just straight up. In a lot of subtle ways too. Weird. But also not weird in terms of this is just a part of reality. A part of the reality is to also cater to the people and how they constantly complain about certain things. And they complain about their certain problems, but they want to stay in it. They want to stay within their own bubble. They want to stay in their subset of problems because that just gives them the green light. It gives them the copium. It gives them a reason not to do shadow work. It's fine. However, you're not going to get many friends off that. You're not going to get many real relationships off that. You know, having real relationships, you don't have to have just deep introspection all the time. You know, you can have a casual conversation with another person a lot of the time. That's what I've noticed too, even throughout the course of my journey, is that I can have simple conversations with people. I can go in depth. I can allow certain conversations to end when it needs to end. I can allow myself to not only be the spokesperson for everybody. Partially a reason why at times like this is why people really run to the escapism of just having problems, is so that they can be the spokesperson for their own life and not have other people to have any type of interpretation or any type of saying. They don't want people really giving them a difference of perspective. It's exactly like that space. But that space really tried gaslighting me into thinking that I wanted to leave just to avoid a challenge. Bro, I have spent my entire life challenging myself each and every step of the way. Even if I have my moments of isolation, I still challenge myself to get out of bed at a certain time. Maybe a little bit earlier than yesterday. Like, come on. Come on. You see how they're obsessed with having definitive answers? It's like they don't see that it's way more complex. It's just me wanting to leave and me just not being a part of them, not wanting to be anywhere near them, not having any type of association. The problem is that even my own mom, she thinks that I just simply don't want to go because I want to just stay home. The one time we went to another church friend, quote unquote, he's not my friend, another church friend's house to watch game 2 of the NBA Finals. It's not that I don't want to go out. I just don't want to go to this person's house. I don't want to associate myself with these church people anymore. I've outgrown from them. The only reason why I haven't outgrown from you guys is because you guys are family. But just because you guys are family, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Some family really prey on your downfall. Some family really are some of your biggest haters. They're some of your biggest manipulators, abusers ever, because they're under that umbrella of family and they feel like they have all the authority over you. So that's the catch. So I'm gonna have to continue to, over time, explain to them, I don't want to be 6 feet up, 6 feet near, I don't want to be 6 feet near these people anymore. I don't need to see them all the time. I don't need to see them when they come over. I don't need to see them if you guys are going somewhere. You guys don't have to take me, or just don't take me at all. I'm just telling you what it is. I am outgrown from these type of people to the point where I do not want to associate with them anymore. But they're not going to understand that. They're going to take it as, oh, I'm just trying to ruin the party. I'm just trying to get a reason to not go, when ultimately I'm setting a particular boundary. This is a boundary for me. If I don't want to think like these type of people anymore, I got to stay away from them, bro. Like, I have to do every little thing to stay away from them. I don't think like these people anymore. They have ruined my life. They have brainwashed me. They indoctrinated me. They have treated me bad in certain instances. I can't keep allowing these people to enter my life without my permission. Especially at this point. See why I had to erase, delete, even block some people off my contacts? That's the thing, then that's the point. I cannot be a part of them anymore. We just cannot. We just cannot. We can't. We can't keep doing this. I don't want to open up my WhatsApp and think about you guys. I want to open up my WhatsApp and think about my dad or my mom. I don't want to think about you. That's why I have to delete. That's why I have to delete contacts and I have to delete messages. I don't want to think about you anymore. I've moved on. It is what it is. Hell, even at a certain case, if I feel like it, and if something pops up for that space within Instagram, automatic block. Automatic either block or automatic soft block. Or probably I have to even private my account if it gets to that point. I cannot have any type of association. It's over, bro. It's over. It's time to move on. It gets to a certain point where it has to be done so. And to a certain extent, I do feel bad. It has to get like this. However, there's a boundary that needs to be set. I don't wake up and say, I want to block certain people. I don't wake up and say, I want to hate certain people. This is what life experience taught me. Life experience is teaching me that I need to set myself apart from a certain group of people or subsection. It's just pretty intense even for me to be able to make that adjustment. I don't want to make this adjustment. You know that, right? Do you think that I want to take the time out of my day and to just whether delete contacts or completely erase them off my life and such? I'm still going to talk about that space a lot more. There is so much to take in. There's so much to let go, express. It's just within the paradox and the dynamic of being. I have to set a particular boundary, and it starts with the people. It does, and I do want to make fun of them too sometimes. I don't want to just complain and just be sad over it. I want to be able to make fun of them, and I can. It could be pure entertainment that sometimes some of these experiences have to overlap. It sucks because I never wanted this experience to be like this, and it did, so I have to react accordingly. I have to respond accordingly. Facts are not feelings. People prioritize feelings too much. Well, thanks, Captain Obvious. I didn't know that. The thing is that feelings are a part of a tool that exemplify that there is some truth within that feeling. There is some truth within the feeling that you're feeling, but there's a lot more to the context than just you feeling sad. You're not just only sad for no reason on a consistent basis. You might feel like that momentarily, but something else pops up, and that's the particular reason. That's not the whole reality. So it doesn't matter if feelings are valid or not. You still have the luxury to feel these feelings, to feel these extreme, intense moments. Doesn't matter And that's not the point. I don't like when people constantly make discourse about if facts are feelings, or like, you just miss the plot. You're just saying a bunch of internet TikTok speak so that you can feel morally superior to a social hierarchy. When we want to feel morally superior and just step on other people that are not exactly like you. And that's why I had to leave that space. Because that broad way of thinking is not going to help and suffice anybody. It just makes everything worse, bro. It just makes me and you waste each other's time, because all we're doing is just yip-yapping and just going back and forth for no reason, with no baseline, no surface. Everything is just based off how I'm angry, or how you're angry, or how you think this way and I don't agree with it. And because I don't agree with it and I don't have a baseline for my own emotion and my own territory, I have to be automatically responding to you in such an excruciating way. That can't happen. We're too grown for this. We gotta stop not just wasting each other's time, but we gotta just get to the point, get to the direction that we want to go, and not just overlap on going, let's say, this street, but then not going completely up this street. We make the back turn and then we leave. We go over there, but we can't really make the tight turn, so we have to go all the way around again. But we go back here in this street corner right there, next to that supermarket and next to that relax truck, and then we have to go back around again because we don't know where we're going. We're just doing exactly that for a consistent amount of time with no sense of direction, no path, no destination. We're just yip-yapping just for the fuck of it. We need a destination, we need a path, we need a sense of direction. We need to be able to have some sense of grounding within how we feel about each other. And it doesn't matter how we feel about each other in this particular moment. We need to get down to the gist of what is going on. Most of you people don't want to do that. It is what it is. You guys just want to sit in your subset of feelings and issues, and you just want to sit cross-legged and just chill with it, acting like everything is okay with it. But that's the reason why you're getting so mad, but you don't want to leave it. Performative is such a horrible term that continues to get worse and worse, being coined into every conversation, every single type of talking point. It has to be incorporated in every stereotype, and it's just crazy. It's just impressive. Work on yourself. Actively choose better. Actively decide that you want to help another person today, and actively listen to them instead of constantly giving your own remarks and giving your own subset of solutions instead of actively listening to their pain. Okay? Some people just want to be understood and heard right now. Some people are using this as a way to manipulate you, and that's just what it is. That's a completely different sub-shift of a conversation. But we're not talking about that right now. That's, again, a completely different conversation. And that conversation will be had in a different time zone and a different set of an atmosphere. It doesn't need to be automatically set right now. We need to learn to just stay on track and on topic with what we're talking about. The baseline is we're talking about performative activism and people's obsession maybe with that, but right now we're talking about the ruining term performative. There's no value in it anymore. It's time to move on. It's time to build up. It's time to be better. Well, cheers, y'all. I'll just use my bag because my water's in there. Bang. Cheers.